Hi everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with me because it's been a while since I posted a video. And well, I'm proud to announce that I'm back. I'm finally done with my master's. I'm graduating on Monday, and now I finally have a lot of time to share more planning content, my planner choices for 2026, for example, which I will be doing in this video. So in the same way as last year, I will do a brief overview of this beautiful planner that I have chosen as my main planner for the next year that I just got in my mail yesterday, the Weekly Notebook by PAPERTESS Designs. And I will not only focus on the overview of the pages, because of course you can just go to their website and see this, but I will share some ideas about how I'm planning to use it and why I made this choice in the first place. So if you haven't chosen your planner for the next year yet and you're kind of hesitating, maybe this video will help you to understand that this is the planner for you, or maybe it's not the planner for you at all. And I know that some of you who have been watching my channel before might be a bit surprised because I was talking last year about how I need more space for writing. That is why this year I have been using the yearly notebook, also by PAPERTESS Designs, but it is in a B6 format. And now I'm switching to a smaller format, which might be strange, but I promise you that I will try to justify and explain my choice in this video. But before we start, let me just show you something. I just realized that I have a certain curious pattern in terms of my planner choices. For 2 years, I was using Hobonichi planners. Then for 2 years, I switched to Sterling Ink planners. And now this is my second year in PAPERTESS Designs, but I'm changing the format. So I don't know why, but apparently I change my planner brand every 2 years. Who knows, maybe next year I will try something else. So as I've mentioned, I will do a brief overview and then a comparison of sorts between how I was using this planner and how I'm intending to use this one. So the planner starts with a pretty standard spread, which is a yearly calendar. It doesn't really have any extra blank pages in front of it, which I would prefer it to have because, for example, this planner, it has quite a few blank pages for your yearly goal overview or whatnot, and only then it goes to the yearly calendar. But I like the way this yearly calendar spread is structured because it has some space to write underneath. And what I really like doing and how I've been using these calendars for the last 4 years, I've been tracking my traveling. So I have a little key here with the countries, and then I'm marking the dates when I'm traveling to these countries. I wouldn't say it's very functional, but I think it's quite fun to look at. And here I combined it with photo of the months as well. So it's quite nice to look at the end of the year. And here, because I also have some space, I will have my legend for the list of countries, and I probably will also write down some yearly goals as well. Then we have this tracker, and how I've been using it so far is to mark the birthdays, anniversaries, and public holidays. And honestly, I don't really think that there is enough space here because I was looking back to my Hobonichi weeks that I used in the past, and let me just show you, this is what it looks like. So if somebody, a friend, has a short name like Luca, it kind of fits, but this was supposed to be a Constitution Day, for example. It's a long word and it didn't fit, or Independence Day also didn't fit. So I really don't like this, and how I'm going to use it is the points tracker for my new gamified personal growth system that I will definitely make a separate video about. But long story short, and I will get back to that, I love board games and I also like RPG. And this year I have been playing a lot of RPG and hosting it for the first time. I'm pretty sure if you're a gamer, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not a gamer, you might have seen people playing Dungeons and Dragons in the movie. So that's what I'm talking about. That's RPG. So I saw this idea online before. It was like a web app that had like a personal development character sheet in RPG-like style. So recently I decided to design this kind of gamified character sheet for my personal development goals. And this is just a draft because it's quite small. You can't really see anything. I'm updating the design now. The idea is that I have different character levels and different disciplines that I get to train in real life. For example, to train my strengths, I can do strengths workouts or sit-ups, push-ups, things like that. And for this, I will give myself points, and later these points will convert to the character level and then rewards that I will give myself. Again, more on this in another video, and I will get back to this system later in this video, but I really love it. It looks very fun. I designed this one on Canva, but now I'm trying to design something better in Illustrator, so I'll definitely share with you when it's done. This will be the point tracker for that kind of system because honestly, I don't really think I can use it for anything else. Next, we have also a pretty standard habits tracking spread. I tried to use it as a habit tracker here, but as you can see later, I switched and I've already started using this personal development character sheet. So this will be my main system to track my habits and track different things for the next year. So I would like to move away from this. That is why this spread will be turned into the birthdays and anniversary spread because there is way more space to write here, and also this space will be the photo of the month. And what I really like, there is a little bit of space underneath, and I think this would be great for a little bit of explanation behind the photo of the month, or maybe like monthly highlights. Here, I don't really have enough space for this, so I think that this spread is really good for this purpose. After this, we've got these quarterly spreads, and I really like them. Let me show you what I did with them this year. So the first quarter, I was still doing my master's, so I had different notes related to like exam schedule and also sports schedule in university. Then I just did some work-related project planning timelines. But honestly, I think that because this planner has a pretty limited space for goal planning, and I prefer doing quarterly goals instead of yearly goals, to be honest, because I don't know, yearly goals tend to become maybe outdated. Maybe you don't need these goals anymore. So I think and I mean, our life is unpredictable. So I think it's better to focus on quarterly goals, at least for me. So this is how I'm planning to use this spread. I will mark something in the calendar here. I will put my quarterly goals here. So all of these spreads that are here in this planner, I have at the beginning, like my goals, all this, I'm going to put them in the quarterly spreads. Now we go into monthlies, and if you've been watching me, you know that I have a huge problem with monthlies. I don't know what to do with them. And here in this planner, the monthlies are stacked, and in the yearly planner, they're kind of spread out, which for this format makes a lot of sense. So I've made some attempts to use them, like just to write down the events. Sometimes I just would use them for random things like menu recipes. Yeah, they don't really work for me, and it's been years since I'm trying to make sense of the monthlies, but now I would like to come back to my questionable planner choice this year because I have been talking about how I need more space and I use GTD system, getting things done. So really this type of planner, it doesn't offer me enough space to write when I need to write like the next specific task, which is the strategy based on the GTD system. But actually this year I made a huge change. I have always been a one planner person. I only have one planner per year, but this year I ordered the second planner, which I haven't received yet, but when I do, I will definitely make a review because I think it's a good option. It's a take a note planner. It's a planner from Taiwan. It's quite affordable. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the delivery fees and tariffs in terms of the US, but the price itself of the planner is quite affordable. So what I'm planning to do is for that planner, Take a Note planner, will be my work planner, strictly working tasks. And if I need something work related as a reference in my personal planner, the monthly calendar is where it will go. I've chosen this format specifically to have it with me at all times, but the work planner only at work. So this is so far the intention for my monthlies, but I don't know if it's going to work out. I'm being honest. I haven't figured out how to use the monthlies in a way it would work for me. But uh, as always, I appreciate all the advice in the comments. Please feel free to give me more. But so far, I don't know. There is just something that I don't get about these spreads for me personally. And that's okay, to each their own. After the monthlies, we go into weekly spreads. But before that, we have this blank spread that I don't really like that it's here and not at the beginning of the planner. And I'm going to tell you why in a moment. So normally I would use this spread for something that I need as a reference. For example, here I know that if I go to the beginning of my planner, I will have my goal spread that I reference a lot. But for example, here before the monthlies, I have a silent to-do list and 25 things in 25, something that does not require my attention all the time. So here I wouldn't put a lot of important things that I will need like a constant access to. Maybe I do the inspiration board that I only did once, by the way, in my sterling ink. I made this kind of board. And so far, I don't really know what to do with it because I wouldn't put my important goals here. Probably, again, silent to-do list would be a good idea, or a wish list, something like that. And now the most exciting part, the weekly spreads. As I've mentioned in my previous videos, I'm not a fan of horizontal weekly spreads. That is why in Take a Note Planner that I ordered as my work planner, I will have vertical spreads because I mainly need these for my work tasks, because otherwise for personal tasks, I don't have that many tasks that are scheduled at a specific time, so I don't need to see my overview when it's happening. So these things would be like classes, doctor appointments, but there are not that many. And during the workday, I might have a lot of calls, meetings, and other things that are happening at a specific time. So this is why I would prefer to have that information in my work planner rather than here. However, I think if you have this very teeny tiny handwriting, maybe you would be able to use this section as your vertical day planning. For example, you could put the timeline here. There are 16 cells, so you can put like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and so on. And then for every day, you can make a little note, like it's a doctor appointment or something like that. This is a very good idea. I like this layout. It's very versatile, and this is one of the options. But of course, if you don't have a teeny tiny handwriting, that might be challenging for you. I know it definitely will be challenging for me. But anyways, here is the structure. First, a little calendar that is nice to have for a reference. You have the standard horizontal weekly spread, this kind of habit tracker / little vertical spread, then 2 types of lists and a little space underneath. And first, when I looked at this planner, I was questioning why there are these 2 types of lists here. And I know that one of them has like 7 cells, so probably this is to track things for every day of the week. But I think that I found another really good way to use them. And let me show you. This week in my planner, I did a bit of a mock-up of this page here just to try it out and make sure that this layout works for me. So let's go through it. So here on top, I have my priority tasks for the week. For example, here I have working on my portfolio and sending out 10 job applications. Yes, now I'm looking for a new job, so good luck to me. Here, where I have the dates, I will write down either some notes that are related to that day. For example, here the note that I need to print 5 pages, or some specific things that are happening on that day. For example, I need to pay rent on the 1st because it's the 1st. Makes sense. And also there is a flight that is happening on Thursday. So these would go here. This will be the extension of the day, but these tasks would kind of come as I go through my week or from these lists. And these would be my weekly tasks. And here is the difference. There are 2 types of tasks that I have. These are the tasks that can happen on any day, right? They're not related to any day of the week and they do not require a lot of time, or I don't want to track time that it requires. For example, printing, reading journal stickers. I know that it's going to take me like half an hour walking to the printing shop and coming back, or I need to call my sister and so on. These are the tasks that then go into a specific day when I'm planning my week. These are the tasks that just need to be completed and ticked. I really like these little circles that I can just tick when I'm done. But sometimes I have tasks where I really want to track how long it takes me to finish them. If you have ADHD, like myself, or if you're just bad at feeling the time and time management, this is a very useful exercise that you could do. There are different ways to track time that you spend on completing certain tasks. There are different Pomodoro timers. I use an app, it's called Flow or something like that. There is also Forest, multiple apps, web apps. You can just use a simple timer on your phone. All of these apps allow you to set 30-minute timer or 1 hour timer. I do 30 minutes. And then you track how many intervals of 30 minutes you have worked. So for example, I wanted to create my video plan because I'm back to YouTube, yay! And it took me 2 hours, which means it took me 4 time slots of 30 minutes. So why I'm tracking this is because it gives me a better understanding of how long things would take me. And if you have this time management problem, I think this is very useful. I find it extremely useful. Usually, I find that things that I thought would take me like half an hour take me 4 hours, and things that I thought would take me 5 hours take me 1 hour. So I'm often wrong, and that is why I want to create this kind of a reference sheet that I can always go back to a certain week and see how long it took me to write that application letter or clean my room if I want to measure that. So this is how I would use that. I would write in these little boxes the number of these time intervals that I'm tracking. And here I would just tick the tasks when they're done. So this is why I like this layout, and I think it's going to work for me quite well. And here at the bottom, I would just write like a weekly reflection, gratitude, maybe some motivational quote. And I also like that there is this space at the bottom of the page. Now, coming back to this vertical habit tracker space, of course, it's great as a habit tracker, but what I'm planning to do here is related to this whole character sheet system. And how it works is I will get the points for each of the disciplines, and these spaces are where I will track my points. So, for example, balance is a part of the discipline dexterity. I try to use some fantasy names here. And to get 1 point for balance, I need to do like a short 5 minute stretch, for example. So, yesterday on Monday, I got 1 point for that. And resistance is, let me see, is part of vitality. And I get 1 point if I don't drink any alcohol that day. And if I don't eat any sugar or fast food, I get 3 points. So actually, yesterday I didn't. So I could add 3 points here. So I get 4 points. And then points would convert into the levels of skills. And then I would get myself some rewards based on the level of my skill and the level of my character. So this is how I'm planning to use this, but again, the alternative is just a habit tracker or your weekly vertical spread. I think there are a lot of options. Now, after the weeklies are done, we have some blank pages. There are quite a lot and they're numbered. There are 246 blank pages, and it really depends for me whether I need that many. For example, in 2023, I had a lot of blank pages and I didn't know what to do with them. So I kind of stuck a reading journal in here. But the year after that, when I ordered this planner with less pages from Sterling Ink, and this is what I like about them, by the way, that they have so many options, I ran out and I had to buy and use another planner for like last 2 months just for the blank pages. But here, there are quite a lot. And honestly, if I feel like I'm not using them, I would just take some of them out. I don't feel bad about doing this. I always separate my blank pages by some kind of a divider. I use a washi tape and I use them for notes. So I have my one day maybe list, or I write down some notes related to my thesis, my university projects. So all kinds of things that I need to refer to from time to time. And I will not show you all of them because some of them are personal reflections. But in general, I think it's good to have more blank pages than less. So that is basically it. That's how I'm planning to use it. And now to why I chose this planner. First of all, and it's important for some of you to keep in mind because I know that a lot of people from the US are watching me, this is a Germany based brand. Considering all the tariff changes and the fees and so on, because I'm based in Belgium in the EU, it was way cheaper for me to order from PAPERTESS Designs rather than from the US or Japan based brands. That's one thing. Second thing, it's because I'm really happy with the quality, the variety of layouts that this brand provides. I think that it's very creative with their layouts. It's not only a standard weekly spread, there is something else. And on one hand, you might not like it if you're someone who is changing your layout every week or you want to be flexible and creative. I'm not that creative. I'm the person who usually craves structure. So for me, having this already here, I think would really help me to stay more organized. And in terms of the switch of the size, the format, this is really easy to put in my bag and carry it around. I really don't know what kind of cover I will be using. I don't really have a cover for Weeks. I tried to fit it into this cover from Weeks Mega, but it didn't fit. So if you know good covers, please let me know in the comments. I might even make my own cover because I've been in my crafty mode recently. But in general, I think the size, the format, this layout, it kind of fits into this new game that I'm playing to motivate myself to improve. It kind of fits into this whole thing. And having the second planner as a backup actually feels quite good, even though I really don't like having more than one planner. But what I noticed this year is, to be honest, sometimes I would not take it to the office with me. It would be too heavy. So if I'm carrying, like, and by the way, I don't drive, I don't have a car. So that's something that is important to understand. If you're using public transport, and if you have your laptop, your lunchbox, your water bottle, and all of like your wallet, makeup bag, and whatnot, and then you have this planner plus the cover, it's a lot. So at some point, I realized that I'm not taking this, but instead, I'm taking photos of it in the morning so I can refer to it in the office. And in the office, I just use like a plain notebook. So this is why I made the decision to switch, and it's okay. It's okay to change your mind. I think that it's important just to find what works for you. So I hope you like the overview, you like the video. There will be more videos coming. I want to do a comparison between Sterling Ink and PAPERTESS Designs because I think now is the season when everybody's choosing their planners. So if I can help people to make the right decision for them, I would love to. Please let me know if you would like me to do a video comparison with some other planners because as you can see, I used quite a lot of different types and brands. So far, I have nothing really negative to say about any of them because all of these are great choices. These brands, they've been changing and evolving all the time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm always so excited to read about your planner choices. I learn a lot from you as well. I recently found out about the Rosy planner that I quite like from the comments, so please share. Maybe Rosy Planner will be my planner for the next year. Who knows? So please let me know what choices have you made or what are you choosing between and what kind of videos you would like to see considering all the planners that I have. I always give my honest opinion and I use my planner as functional tools, not only for decoration and journaling, even though I love stickers and stationery. So let me know in the comments and I will see you in the next one.